I felt my jaws crashing like thunder as I raced towards my prey. It hissed and scratched at me. I growled in indignation. How dare you? Do you know who I am? Do you know the power that I wield? My jaws are like fire, eating everything in its path. My tail is like lightning, striking everything it touches and splitting it into two. My belly is like the rolling earthquake, thundering like a stallion's hooves. The creature scratched at me mid-speech, and that was it. I guess it was surprised, and it didn't know that I was going to run as fast as I did after it. But soon, I had the satisfaction of feeling my jaws crunch over something soft and succulent. As I snapped it into a pulp, I then started to swallow it whole. Right there and then, something grabbed my tail and I was hanging upside down. There was screaming and yelling. I was being shaken vigorously, and my prey fell out my mouth. No, I don't want to go empty-handed. What is going on, and why is this thing holding me? Am I getting eaten? Next thing I know, I am looking into the eyes of one of the people. Or at least I think it is. It looks sort of like my companion, but with a strange-looking head. Interesting. It's a bit glowy, like a very miniature sun. Splash! I end up in the water, and I feel cool. That was annoying. Hope that never happens again. I thought that my troubles were over. Until there was war. I love war. It's very entertaining. It's one of the most entertaining things I have ever seen. Watching people go at each other's throats, watching the blood and the carnage, I miss that. I used to watch it with my own people. I'd almost forgotten that I was a frost giant. I never felt like I fit in. So, one day I found a group of alligators. Don't remember how I got there. Memory's a little bit hazy in this form. The longer you stay in these forms, the more you become the form. I did have the idea to become more human, like people, but they just seem so pitiful and weak. And as I spent time with the other alligators, I witnessed the glories of battle, snapping and aggression, and everything was simple. If you were angry, you just started fighting. If you were hungry, you started biting. You slept when you wanted to. There was no responsibilities. It was perfect. And so this form I stayed. Now that I'm a companion to what is essentially a warrior people, I can still enjoy the luxuries of watching battle what is happening. A bright light appears before me, but it's very artificial or magical. It looks like a door. Some people start to come out. Never seen that before. And they grab me. When I wake up, I'm in a strange facility. I don't even remember falling asleep. What happened? Somebody waves a stick at me and prods me along. Big mistake. I will not be herded like cattle. You need to lose your legs and your hands. But the hands are just dangling. It's so tempting to not just bite them. I know there's a saying with other animals that you shouldn't bite the hand that feeds, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm a god. And these people are meant to serve me. Maybe they just forgot the memo or something. So snap I go, and off goes one of their hands. And then I feel a stinging pain, and now I'm in grass. There is thunder crashing above my head. A big dark cloud is in the distance. Is it just me, or does that seem as though the dark cloud is coming very fast towards me? I think I better get going. I try to look for water, someplace that I can hide and submerge myself. The dark cloud is coming very fast, and as I look back, I stand still, realizing that it has eyes. There is something in the cloud. No, the cloud is something. I need to get out of here. Forget this. Why am I standing here looking at it? I see some other creatures, some strange-looking birds with bubbles on their heads. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is just another nightmare, but I'm not taking the chance because it feels too real. The grass under my little feet are wet. My claws are digging into dirt, and I feel like I have to poo. I run as fast as my legs can take me, trying to keep close to the ground, keeping pace with the bird things. They look like they have 5 or 4 legs. I think I'm dizzy. Suddenly, the ground is moving underneath me, and I am falling to a depth that is imperceptible, because it takes me a while to hit the bottom. And when I finally do, I feel pressure over me. I roll back onto my stomach quickly, and crunch myself into the dirt. I'm in a very tight hole. I don't know how I got here, I didn't see it in front of me, but I know I just fell through some dirt. Whether this is a trap or not, I'm just grateful that I'm here and I'm safe. Whatever that thing was, I'm pretty sure it was a big dark purple cloud that was chasing me, probably to eat me. Never seen that before either, but hey, there's a first time for everything. I do eventually dig myself out of the hole. It was a very steep climb, and I'm a very good digger. But when I finally surface, the cloud is again in the distance. Now there are two clouds, but one is really bright blue, or dark blue, I can't really tell in this lighting. The air is humid. It feels similar to my alligator home. What am I gonna eat while I'm here? I see one of those bird things again. Now that I get a close look at them, they're very creepy. They clearly look as though they need to be put out their misery, so I oblige them. But as I try to run after them, they jump and do a whole bunch of acrobatics and makes it very impossible for me to catch them. Even though I can't see any eyes, it looks as though they can always see where I am, or detect my movement. I'm gonna waste more energy than I have trying to chase these things and eat them. So I scavenge. I spend what feels like weeks scavenging for food, and I barely survive. I can tell that I'm losing a lot of weight because I can move a lot easier. But at the same time, I feel much weaker. I need a really big meal if I have any chance of surviving out here. I hear the thunder and the ground rumbling again. Oh no, I'm too far from the hole. Wait, is it coming? It's coming. The only place that's safe from this thing seems to be underground or out of its sight. It has tendrils that come out and feel. Even if you're hiding in a spot, like under one of the vehicles, it can still find you. I made the mistake of hiding under one of those things that humans used to pull behind their cars. I thought I was safe, and if I hadn't looked to my right that day, I wouldn't be here. I've seen what that thing does to other animals, to other beings. A herd of horses had ended up here, in this area, in this strange place. I was happy. Didn't think I was going to bring down one of those. Those things would kill me before I got close. But as soon as I saw their majesty, in an instant the cloud came from out of nowhere and enveloped them. And all that was left was their meat, and then their bones, and then ultimately nothing but little embers floating in the wind. I've started to tunnel under the earth. I hate it because dust always gets in my eye, but it's the most effective way of me traveling. Making a tunnel system of several holes in this area, I can be sure that there's a hole within escaping distance when that thing shows up. I call him the Sky Croc. Scary thing he is. But on one particular day, I'm a little bit too far from the hole. Reason is because I see something else in the distance. Usually everything that comes here dies, but for some reason, there is a person walking around down there as though they either don't know where they are totally unaware of the danger, or they're just very lucky. I like carnage, like I said. I like watching things get eaten. I don't feel sorry for the people who get incinerated by the big cloud monster thing, but at the same time, I fear for my life. Being reminded at every turn, every time something drops here, that could be me. But I still have to watch it get eaten. Where's the cloud thing? I look around, making sure it's not anywhere near me. Then I see it, heading straight for that person. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Let's see some rib snap. And then, just like that, the person is gone. Cloaked. Where did he go? The cloud monster thing goes into the area and seems to be searching for him. I back up slowly, because I know that if it can't find him, it's eventually going to see me, so I feel around with my tail and locate the hole. One of my 30 entrances I made. I'm so proud of myself. With half my body in, I wait to see what happens, and the cloud just goes back into the air and merges with the rest of the sky. And then, as soon as it's gone, voila! The person reappears. It's as though they camouflage with the background. How did they do that? This person has big horns like me. I can see now. Yes, of course his headdress is like mine. You know, I started that fad a long time ago. Wait a minute. Why does he have that? Must be a coincidence. The next day, I feel someone scream. Goodness gracious, if it's another one of these things, I'd rather them not do that right by my territory. I get out angry as I climb out the hole and start snapping wildly at whatever is in front of me. I see the person in the weird green and yellow suit, with my horns on his head. What do you want? I ask. You have a mind to get out of here before I snap you in two. My apologies. I'm so sorry, says the old person. Yes, he is old, and he looks ridiculous. Whoa, he can understand me? Well, that's not something How can you understand me? Well, He replies. I'm guessing it's because you and I are the same. Ha, bullshit, I say. You're a cunt. Well, that's not very nice. Oh god, you can't understand me. I cry in joy. A little bit weirded out about that, but enjoy. Now I don't have to be by myself. I like being social, you know. Who are you? I'm Loki, the old person says and sticks out his hand like he expects me to bite it. I mean, if you insist, I said. Never usually have people volunteer their hands getting bit off before. Thanks? I go to reach for his hand and he quickly pulls it back. I'm assuming you're a variant as well, and that's why you're here. Never seen an alligator variant, but then you wouldn't be a variant. The guy explains to me some stuff about TVA and time people and timelines, and I'm not interested at all. All I know is that apparently I got here because I ate that cat and I caused a whole bunch of Nexus events, and that was wrong, and I didn't even know I was doing something wrong, since it's in my nature to be an alligator, so that part is really confusing to me. Whoever the TVA are, they don't sound like very nice people, and I'd love to taste their hands. I swear, the more I hate something or hate someone, the better its hands taste. I don't know what it is. Feet and hands, those are my favorite parts of the whole body. Then I see the Loki looking at me with an eyebrow raised. I have to remember that he can understand me, and I think I'm making him uncomfortable. No, don't stop on my account. I'm old, I've heard everything. I've done everything. He replies. Time doesn't seem to go anywhere in this place, but at the same time, it does. But it doesn't. I can feel myself get tired. I can feel myself get hungry. Yet the land always feels like one of those looping things on those big screen things that humans are attached to. I've seen them using it. What is it called? I asked the big person Loki if he knows what I'm talking about. And surprisingly, he says yes. He knows a lot about Earth, Toma, Erindron, and a lot of other planets with life on them. This guy is like a walking encyclopedia, and I just enjoy being around him. At least I have some entertainment. I didn't even realize I can enjoy other stuff rather than just the same old blood, guts, and intestines flying everywhere. I mean, I like that too, don't get me wrong, but it is quite the delight hearing of his adventures and the different shapes that he's taken, the forms that he's lived. He once lived for 65 years as a unicorn with an octopus head. I know, let that sink in. But the wonderful thing about being around him is I feel like myself. Even though he looks humanoid, and I'm a gator clearly, we have almost everything in common. He can understand me. We spend so much time hunting, and we found these creatures, these tall creatures that look like trees, but the bottom half of their bodies look like tables, and the top half of their body splits into two heads, and their heads look like flower petals. It's very hard to describe, and they're not very tasty. Whenever they attack you or you attack them, they snap, almost as though they're breaking their bodies on purpose. It's very disconcerting and it makes me feel uncomfortable, so we don't eat those things anymore. However, there are tons of these cat-like animals that look like they're mixed with turkeys. And like clockwork, almost, I swear, at the same time I feel hungry, they drop. Almost as though they're stuck in a loop. And they drop in exactly the same position, in the same way, and the same occurrence happens over and over again. Like a haunting. I will never get tired of the supply of food. And what would feel like 6 days later, if time was still a thing, makes me feel as though I'm sick of these things. Every few miles that we travel, we see other landscapes, like completely different biomes, islands in the sky. We had an island that we used to visit that had dinosaurian creatures on it. Big gator-looking creatures like me that had sticks for legs and wings as tails. And then the cloud monster ate them. Nothing that we ever enjoy lasts for very long, unless it's in a loop. And I realize that not everything here is in a loop. So most of the things that we end up enjoying, or the beauty of them, we can only enjoy it once. We have to catch it before it quickly is incinerated by the cloud monster. He's just become a part of our life, and the person version of me calls him Goliath. I don't know what that name means, sounds derpy to me, but it's become a good safe word, so that if we're enjoying ourselves and we hear that name, we know that the cloud monster is upon us. We had a few close calls too, where we had to save each other. We've been surviving for a while, just us. We've met other variants just like us as well that looked eerily the same or different. Never another gator like me, but other people Lokis like him, my friend. I guess I can call him my friend now? Unfortunately, they weren't very nice. Lokis rarely are, apparently. Even in human form, they're still very much like gators, and they will eat what they want, when they want, however they want, despite who you are. My loneliness starts to set in. Even though I enjoy my human friend, I've got needs. I can't ever catch those bird things to eat them, but there are a few times where they let me get close, and only specific ones let me get close. I would wonder if they were sick, and then I would try to snap at them quickly to eat them, and they'd always get away. However, there was one day when I didn't try, and they came close to me. And, I don't really want to talk about it. All I know is that I have a way to cope with certain things, and I shouldn't be judged for that. So this is my life now. Living out here in this place that my Loki friend calls the Void. Early today, we saw another Loki person drop from out of the sky. This one looks a lot smaller, so I don't see he's much of a threat, but we figure if we get to him before the other Lokis do, maybe we can make a new friend.